Why is there a picture of meat? What is that? Yeah, it's like a meat being cut. Because I got one of these new knives coming, Dalstrong. Bought it or getting it. They're on Amazon. They got all different ones. Choose the right chef knife for your arsenal. For your arsenal. I don't know. Dalstrong. Arsenal. Wow, look at this. $515 for the knife set block. That's a whole set of the Dalstrong knives. I got one of the individual knives coming. Just imagine having one of these knives in your kitchen or a whole set or a couple different ones. But all you need is one of these knives as your main cutting knife. It's your chef knife. You stand by it. Look at this thing. A ulu knife. I heard of those. It's I don't know what you would cut with that. Quesadillas? Meat chopper. Premium whetstones. Another really nice a knife block. Put your knives and everything. What's this? Honing rod. For sharpening? They have all different ones. Look at this Shadow Black series. For this one would be something for my friend Obert Hansen in Denmark. He's much like a shadow character, but he's got money to buy a really nice knife. You know, you would go with this one. It's like very futuristic. Think about yourself in the kitchen. You're cutting with this Shadow Black series knife. You would be somebody cool. Like you're a grown up and you got to be very careful. It's a very sharp knife for cutting. Razor thin on your vegetables and all that, it could be, which is impossible for other knives. Relatively good prices. Believe it or not, there's some other ones that are even more expensive, $500 and $600 for a knife. Whereas here it ranges from, here you can even get one for $45, the Gladiator series. The one I got coming's around $200. They even have these ones. This one's a good one for, it's a Nikiri Asian vegetable knife. My mom would love that one for cutting vegetables. It's a beautiful knife, beautiful knife. Another block. This is a good set for somebody that has a good sized home, or even a condominium or something. You could, but you'd be the top of your condominiums. You'd be the top of the top having this knife set. You'd be really maybe Phil Thompson could get that knife set, maybe, but in reality, it'd probably be me to buy that knife set. Look at it. It's nice. Look, it's got the really nice handles. It looks like it's well put together. Because it's not just about how sharp it is, it's also about how long it's going to last. You look at the material, you say, what's the does it look like it's vulnerable to any type of wear or anything? Like it looks like it's going to last because look at this. The way they have the metal here, it wraps around the handle and all that. It looks like the handle would stay intact for a really long time. I think it looks like it's uniform to the blade. Let me see. It may be one singular piece of metal throughout the whole knife, whereas some knives that fall apart, the blade is attached to the handle, whereas these ones look like the knife and the steel is the entire handle, and then they just put some stuff, put some grip on top of the main part of metal, and that's how you don't have breakage because after years of cutting, or even months or weeks, you're cutting with knives. but they are not the way they manufactured them. They're just kind of attached to the handle and they fall apart, whereas these ones look like the metal's the entire knife, and then there's that white grip on it. So for 500, you got those. They have a website too. Dalstrong Incorporated. Looks like they're even in Toronto. 171 East Liberty Street. I bet you they got a in-store showroom maybe. You can call them at 416-274-5567. Here's that rocking cleaver type of thing for cutting pizza. I said quesadillas, all different stuff. We're beyond stoked. Today is about coming together to celebrate hard-won freedom. We're giving away 3 Annihilator cleavers. If you're not already a fan of Kimmy Werner, here are a few. She's filleting fish with her knife. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Steak. All different kind of stuff. Ribs. Sushi. We got all different stuff they're cutting. Meat. I was talking vegetables. But Dalstrong looks like they love their meat and all that. I got Catfish by Jeffrey Earnhardt, the NASCAR driver. He's in on this Dalstrong too. Are we gonna watch one of those videos? Maybe in a minute. Bed Bath & Beyond. Dalstrong Incorporated. Dalstrong.com. Really interested to see the Damascus steel. I talked about it on my channel. It took until now to realize we have all this beautiful Damascus steel. I heard somebody talk about it before. Must have been on YouTube. They explained to me that what was going on and that we had all this Damascus steel. And this is one of the beautiful products that they've made with all that Damascus steel. But then again, we don't have unlimited Damascus steel, and it's a very good metal. They're running out of steel, right? It's a limited resource. It's an expensive resource too. That's why they cost money. You're wondering, well, how come these knives cost $200? It's just a knife, right? That's what people think. But it's made out of that really good, nice steel from Damascus, Syria. Brisket knives, cleaver knives. I mean, they had to go over to Syria to get this metal. I'm not going over to Syria. But I got one of these knives. I'm going to hold on to it. Like, I'm so special over here in Canada that I have one of these. I'm getting one of these knives. Hey, if it doesn't, no, but they said the tracking's coming. If it comes, I'm going to be so happy.
Oh, just the process of being able to have time management skills, learning how to kind of work under pressure, and knowing that people are kind of counting on you to be able to get the job done. This is a great way to get some of those skills.
So I'm kind of an outsider in the barbecue community, right? While all of these folks were coming up through barbecue, either learning from their families or on the competition circuit, I was off being a corporate guy, being one of the suits, right? But it's been really great how I've been welcomed into the community since starting the channel and starting to share my knowledge. I think the other pit masters appreciate the fact that I am really hardcore about being true to the recipe. I'm really hardcore about the right way to do things, and you know, I respect a lot of them and I'm not afraid to call them out. I think that's probably helped a little bit as well when I give them the shout outs about methods that I've learned from them. But some of the nicest people on the planet in this community. When I'm not grilling, I'm probably thinking about grilling or planning to grill, but you know, I've got the most amazing daughter in the world. I'm lucky enough to have one who loves food and loves my cooking. A lot of other dads are jealous that my daughter will eat what I cook. And hanging out with her and the dog and really into off-roading, which is kind of fun because now I get to take my Jeep off into the mountains or onto the beaches and then do live fire cooking in environments like that, which, you know, we don't have on the show, at least not yet. Maybe we'll do that, but it's great that I get to incorporate my love of food, my love of live fire into all the other stuff that I get to do. There's a lot of people that I really look up to. The guy who's probably the biggest inspiration in my cooking is Jacques Pepin. Watched Jacques and Julia as a kid, and you know, the way he explains things, the way that he demonstrates them that you can understand. I think, you know, he's a big part of me deciding that I wanted to do this and wanted to teach. You know, in the more modern world, in the barbecue community, like folks like Rodney Scott, boy, if Rodney was a creator and publisher.
Here's a photo of somebody that received their Dalstrong. Mine came today. Super excited to put it to use.
I would watch every minute of everything he did multiple times. You know, you can't be in the barbecue business and not feel like Tootsie Tominets is like the person, the hero. Like, she doesn't use a thermometer. I mean, she touches her hand to the grill and knows that it's hot enough, touches her hand to the food and knows that it's ready. And if I can live as long as she does and have half of the talent that she does when I get there, boy, I'd be a happy guy. The number one thing I look for in partnerships is it a product that I would use, or in the case of Dalstrong, used before I even started forming partnerships? And is it a company that I would do business with, or again, in the case of Dalstrong, have been doing business with? You know, when you do what I do and you're sharing knowledge and you're actually getting into details, people take that stuff seriously. And if I say this is a knife that you should use, they're going to take my word for it. They're going to buy that knife. If I say this is how I light my grill, if I say this is the meat that I would cook with, they're going to go out and buy those things. And so there's a lot of responsibility in taking on a partner, right? It's not, will they give me product or how much will they pay me? That all comes after a decision. This is a company that I want to work with. You know, for Dalstrong, it was a really easy decision. I was using the products, I was sharing them with my friends, other people were buying them without any kind of partnership. And so when I had the opportunity to work with Dalstrong, that was kind of a no-brainer. People ask me about grilling hacks and kitchen hacks all the time, and you know, the first thing I tell them is I don't use hacks. I use science. I use technique. I learn things to do. I don't have hacks to give away. My favorite techniques probably include things like dry brining meats overnight and getting the salt content exactly right. I think I'm really creative with flavor profiles and layering flavor profiles, and so you'll see me often put salt on first and then another layer of spices and then maybe a layer of a glaze or even a third or fourth layer of spices. I think that's a big part of how I get the flavor profiles and the meat experience that I create, but none of it's a hack. You gotta do the work. You gotta learn the techniques, you gotta practice them, you gotta do them. There's not really a secret about the foods that I hate. I mean, I'm pretty outspoken about foods that are targeted at vegans, like tofu or anything made out of tofu. I don't think tofu belongs in the kitchen. I don't believe it belongs on a plate. I actually did some fun stuff with a Dalstrong product a couple of weeks ago that I think went over really well and showed people exactly what to do with tofu when you've got it in a carnivore kitchen. I cannot live without my chef's knife. Like, it was the 8-inch Gladiator Series chef knife. That was, if I'm in the kitchen and I'm working, I probably have that in my hand or close by. Now that I've upgraded to the 10.25-inch Shogun chef's knife, it's really versatile. I use it during prep. I can even use it to slice finished meat. I can do vegetables. Yes, I do cook vegetables, not just animals that eat vegetables, right? Definitely the most versatile tool in the kitchen. I think if I get the opportunity to plan my last meal, it's going to involve olive-fed Wagyu beef. Probably that ribeye that I cooked before. I think the main course would be the olive-fed Wagyu ribeye, and then for the vegetable, I would probably have an olive-fed Wagyu ribeye, and then for the bread and the dessert, I'd probably go with olive-fed Wagyu ribeye. I think that would make a complete, well-rounded meal with all of the food groups. Meat and meat and meat and meat. I think about what comes next. It's really hard to imagine anything other than this. I mean, I've done so many great things in my life and in my career, and I am so happy doing what I'm doing. I get to cook, I eat some of the best food, I get to learn, I study from the best. I've got great friends in this barbecue cooking community. I work with great partners, and boy, I don't know if there is anything next. I'd like to be able to do this for a really long time.